Welcome back. So, till now we explored a little bit about storytelling and how this ancient art of storytelling can relate to us. Then we explored a little bit about what it means to be a storyteller and how storytellers are channels for wisdom to come to the people. How about now speaking a little bit about how to actually tell a story? Maybe you saw our stories in the previous videos, but now we want to share with you a few ideas that may help you embody the energy of the storytelling in your own authentic way. So I like this idea that there are three ways of telling a story. We may tell a story from our mind, just passing information, repeating some things that we know. And when we do that, it somehow reaches the mind of other people. Another way is to tell a story from our heart, to really be passionate about, to really love the story, and to love to tell, to transmit the medicine of the story to the other people. When we tell it this way, the story reaches the heart of the people, of the listeners. And there's a third way in which we let the story tell itself through us. And I like very much this way of telling the story because it opens this channel, brings mystery, brings uncertainty, and for sure, from my experience, creates a beautiful flow. Something that also helps me when I'm about to tell a story is to connect with an intention. What is my intention for this story? What's the intention of this story? Maybe the intention is to transmit some wisdom or some life lessons. Maybe the intention is to inspire. Maybe is to entertain and have a good time. So it's really important to be aware, what's my intention and what do I aim through this story by telling this story.
At the same time, do not feel that you can manipulate people through this. At the same time, be aware that the story itself will do the work, and our role is very little indeed. I would suggest, let's make space for the story. Let's call the story. Let's invite her to come through us and do her work. As if in the beginning of storytelling, I'm saying, come story, speak through me, reach the people in that particular way that every person needs to be touched at this moment. And maybe it will not bring laughter to many of them, maybe it will bring pain, maybe it will confront them with the grief or with the potential of becoming something greater and still feel the pain of the story that they are in. So I would say, let's make space for the story, let's call the story. How can I serve your story in the best possible way at this moment? I'm making myself available to you. That's a little prayer, maybe, that I feel called to do many times before weaving a story.
And something that helps us with creating the space and calling for the story is to actually create some kind of sacred space. We may want to arrange the room where we are about to tell the story. We may bring a candle. We may bring some symbols, some objects that invite this atmosphere for the story to come. And also it's a space that is allowing us to manifest more fully our inner storyteller. Also, it's a way of engaging with our body and with our wildness and authenticity. I really like to give space to my body lead in a way. Because bodies are magnificent instruments that can, embody different characters in the story. Or maybe I can get closer to some people in different moments. Or I can, tell the story through my body next to the words and the voice that I say. And speaking about the voice is an amazing tool that can help shift the consciousness of people and can help the story travel more easily. Maybe in some moments I can whisper to create more suspense. Maybe in some moments I can speak louder to create more energy in the story. Or I can take the voice of different characters. So the body, the voice, the space are all elements that can be worked together and be weaved together in this container where the story wants to come to life.
Sometimes it's the voice of silence that will do the work. Sometimes it's great in the stories to pause and witness. Let the people savor the scene that you just described, the moment that was just received by them. And that means that we need to be also, while making space for the story to speak through us, we also need to be in some kind of conversation with the people, people who are receiving the story. And they will show you for what exactly they're longing for or hungry for. You will sense it. Maybe you will not see it with your eyes, but you will feel it with your body. What is their need right now? And maybe through direct eye contact, through following their sighs and laughter, you can weave more there. The story will instruct you what to do.
And we told you that the story is a realm of imagination. So as a storyteller, it's also very important to ignite the imagination of the listeners. And we may do this by weaving metaphors and vivid words and images in the story. And just to give you an example, for example, if in the story is a scene in which is very hot, for example, we may say, well, it was that hot that from the forehead of the traveler, rivers of sweat were flowing down, carving canyons through the skin, through the dry skin. So you may see that we can say that it was very hot, but then creating these images, adding emotions, speaking about emotions in stories, we make the stories be more alive and be present in the imagination and in the hearts and bodies of the audience. So another important element when telling the story is humor. You may want to insert in some stories, of course, elements of humor. And I really like to try the humor in conversations with the audience. So if I see that some parts of the stories ignite some kind of reactions or laughter, I like to spend a bit more time there, maybe investigate, speak more about myself or the story. And at the same time being also careful, because too much humor may weaken the story. So maybe only a few drops of humor here and there, and then allowing the story to be received in its fullness.
You may want to weave along with the stories some songs, some sounds. You may want to visit the other course that we are offering about weaving songs, and maybe there you find more ways on more songs, more material on how to introduce the singing in the story, and you invite the audience to sing along with you. And ultimately there is no right or wrong way to tell a story. The most important thing is to find your unique way of being a vessel to the story. And the more you practice, the more your authenticity will be revealed in the storytelling. So we offered some possibilities, but you are going to be better guided by the story itself and by your unique gifts. And if you want to delve more into possibilities of how to engage with the audience, we're inviting you to continue watching the next video, the next story. Maybe there you will get some more ideas and craft your own way of telling a story.